violence in the future, I believe they will affect it, and they have a trend use violence in his family. I think so.
Thank you. That was really insightful. Thank you for sharing. Anna, what do you think?
Yeah, if violent family happen in the family, it affects so much to the children when they have to witness their parent argument, and their father use a violent family to punish their mother. And when they grow up, it's always affect to their thinking and their action.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. Those are really good points. When you grow up seeing something, if you're not even hitting you, but if your father or your mother is always talking rudely to you, is always mean to you, is always like, you are this, you are that, you are not smart, you are not beautiful, you are useless, you're not hardworking, anything, and they tell you every day. When you go out and you meet someone you want to marry and they tell you you're useless, are you going to say, no, don't say that to me? No, you are going to think it's normal. Yes, somebody I loved, someone that loved me so much said that to me. So I guess that's normal. So we teach our kids what's normal. If my father wakes up every morning and he drinks water, that's normal for me. If your dad drinks alcohol in the morning, that's normal for you. So I think because parents are the biggest teachers, you can start there. You can start there telling your kids, if somebody touches you, somebody slaps you, somebody beats you, somebody's trying to touch you sexually, someone's trying to emotionally control you, that's wrong. They cannot do that to you. So this is such a good discussion that you guys are sharing your points with, because parents are your first teachers. They can tell you what's wrong, what's right.
And so the key for problem is the father and mother become a good teacher. Yes, I think so.
I think so too. I think it's only one thing. Obviously, there needs to be government. Obviously, we need to change how society thinks. But those are out of our control. I cannot control population of 1 million people. I cannot control a leader that's sitting with 10 policemen holding guns in front of them. But I can control how much I contribute to my household, and if I can make a change there, that's under my control. Because if I think about changing the whole world, that's too big. I won't even start. But if I think about changing one person, then maybe I will start.
Yeah, we can change whole thing right now, but we can do a little thing to change a little bit, and day by day the life can better.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't. I
Sorry,
think really hard when every time and every situations we always to control my mind and my emotion. So do we think sometimes we should rebellions a little?
So are you asking that we should rebel a little bit at home, or are you saying outside?
Yes.
Are you saying we should have a rebellion in the house, or should we do it outside?
Maybe in in our house or outside.
Yeah,
But
you know what? I would be
doesn't-
scared to do it outside because a policeman is going to break my legs. But in the house we can. I think if it was just me alone, I would be scared. But if I have 100 people, I have 100 people saying family violence is wrong. You as the police, you're not doing anything. This is your job to protect us, but you are not doing anything. And there's 100 people with me, then they really cannot do anything. There's media, there's all those things. These days, you can share on Facebook, you can call the media, you can post it on YouTube. So I agree with you. I think we can start a rebellion, but the thing is, who's going to do it? We have to do our jobs. We have to pay our bills. We have to raise our families. And sometimes rebellions take years.
Yes, nowadays very dangerous when I want rebellion outside, because everyone out around me always use smartphone and very easy for post. And I think after that I become famous, but not good.
Yeah, the parent have to spend on their time to the kid, talk to them and train them about the violence family. That's the way to prepare knowledge for them.
Yeah, but what if the parents are violent? So do you think, Anna, if your parents were violent, would you be a rebellion? You would be a rebel?
If the parent is the perpetrator, I will do talk to the kids and make them trust me, that I can help them. Yeah, and after that I have to government to solve the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we don't give enough credit to talking to others. Sometimes we go through something and we don't talk to anyone for 6 months, 1 year. We don't talk to anybody. Something is happening. You're like, oh, what are people gonna think? They're gonna think. But I think just talking, if you cannot do anything else, and if you're going through a problem and you share with someone, I think that's a start. When we used to have kids in my school, they would come with bruises. Somebody hit them, and you get a bruise, right? The blue colored. And we would ask them what happened. Oh, nothing. I fell. Nothing happened. So they didn't want to share with us. So we couldn't help them. If somebody says nothing happened to me, then I'm not going to say anything, right? So I think just talking about it in society, especially like you said in Vietnam and especially in India, nobody talks about it. So I think if we just started talking about it, even men, because everybody goes through abuse. And I know it's harder for men to share their feelings than it is for women, but talking about it. Another thing we discussed is that teaching our kids, teaching little kids, even if it's not your kid, you teach your brother's kid, you teach your uncle's kid, you teach anybody that will listen, because kids don't listen, let's be honest, they want to play. But anybody that will listen, if we start with that. No question. We were just discussing, we're discussing such a depressing topic. So we're talking about the positive things that we can do. Because otherwise, you guys are going to not have a good day. You're going to be like, that Nav made us so sad this morning. That Nav.
So sometimes me and my wife become upset, and at that time I really uncomfortable. So Ned, give me some advice in this situation. This situation, do you think what should I do in this situation?
I think you should talk to my husband about that. You know what my husband does all the time? He's just, and then you talk about it the next day. Because all the emotions, I learned that being silent in the situation is so much better. Only for a few hours. You don't have to be silent for the rest of your life because it's your partner. They need to hear you, you need to hear them. But I think when you're mad or when you're angry, you don't talk then, because you will say things that you will not feel good about after. You will have regret. Anna, what is your thought on this?
So in the next time when I become upset, maybe I keep silent and go out.
And count from 1 to 10,000.
Yeah.
We are all human. We all get mad. When I get mad, I eat, and then I get fat.
Yes, maybe I go out and find some beer.
No.
And,
Don't find beer. Find some peace. Some time to think about it. Yeah. But violence is never the answer. You think violence has solved any problems? I don't think so.
In that situation, I go out and find another people that I can trust to talk about my problem, such as my mother or my sister or my close friend.
in the past, when I become upset, I travel to somewhere, but without alone. And at that time, when we have more time for thinking back, and I think I can see everything become clearly. Especially, I have more time for myself, and that is a good time for I can thinking about the past, about the future, and especially focus on my business. I think so.
Come. Have you ever to get angry to want to damage something in your house, such as through your phone or damage your television?
I never do that with television because we don't use a TV. But in the past, in the first time when I start with my own business, I think in 1 year I changed about 3 times for change my mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
And
what the reason?
my wife said, you're really upset, and when you become upset, I think I have lost more money for you by mobile phone.
Your wife is funny. We should talk to her too.
Because everything from business. So my wife does housekeeping.
Yeah.
And she don't care about business.
Yeah.
And sometimes we facing with so much stress. And I think that is a bad action, but I don't know how I can do another, how I can do that. And sometimes I try to control my emotion, but I have two trains many mobile phone.
That's funny. Sometimes I don't feel angry, or I'm usually very patient and calm. But sometimes, you know what I hate? When you need your computer at work and it doesn't work, I want to throw my computer. I just want to take it, throw it in the trash. It doesn't work. But no, I've never felt like throwing something physically. How about you, Anna?
Yeah, sometimes when I get angry, I throw my pen or a little thing, not my phone, or damage luxury thing in my house.
Yeah, good idea. Maybe Cam, you should throw cheap things, not expensive things.
Yeah.
Throw a pen, throw a paper. But I think, you guys, a positive way to get rid of your stress is exercising. If you just feel like throwing something, go for a run. All your energy will go away. Then you won't feel like throwing anything. I like this discussion. I feel like yesterday, it was my first time, so we were just doing question by question, but I find that this is more dynamic. Everybody's sharing different things. It's a good conversation. So we'll move on to the next question. We'll just read it out loud, just so we cover all the questions too, and we can discuss all the other things. So we talked about our countries and what happens in our countries, and how government has such a huge hand in why sometimes you cannot get help. And other things we talked about were how we can start making a change, because we can't change everybody at the same time, but we can start with our own families. The next question is question number 4, and it's, how does family violence affect the victims, like the children, the wife? How does it affect them?
Yeah, I think the wife will live like in a house. Yeah. And sometimes it's worse than the death. If her husband punished her every day, every time. Yeah. And I think at that time she think she will live just because by her children. Yeah. And if it happened about the children, I think when they grow up, they tend to use violent family to against the other. Because they often witness it every day, and they believe that they can only use a violent violence to solve their problem. It's the only way to solve the problem.
Yes, you would think that if you see something at your house and somebody's being violent towards you, you say to yourself, I will never do it. You would think that that's a normal response. He's doing it to me. I don't feel good. I will never do it to someone else. But actually what happens is, it's weird, you guys. I don't understand it. But if someone is violent towards you, then the children also become violent. I don't understand that, because if someone's doing something to you and you don't like, you say, I don't want to be like that person. That person is not a good person. But research shows, I don't know if you guys have heard about Chris Brown and Rihanna. They are very, very big superstars, singers in America. So the guy hit the girl, and her pictures were everywhere. Her eyes were blue, her teeth were broken. The man went to jail. 2 years later, and this woman, she's educated, she's a millionaire. She went back to that guy. It's a cycle of abuse and stuff. It's very weird. You would think that you don't want to be around them. You don't want to be like them. But actually, children see you doing this at home. Most likely, in 80% of the cases, they also do it when they grow up. So Anna, you're completely right. When they grow up, they don't know any other problem solving. They think this is the way to do it.
Your turn.
I don't know how I can describe about violence, but in the past, when my parents become upset, and sometimes my father used violence with my wife. I'm sorry, with his wife. I feel that puts many terrible thing in my memories when I was a childhood, and now when I thinking back, I think there are many problems I have to change in my mind, especially when I become a father and when I become a husband. Sometimes the bad memories still affect us with me. But when me and my wife become upset, I use that memorize and try to avoid out, and I don't want to repeat again. That's it.
No, thank you so much for sharing. That's really good. You are one of the good ones. You are saying that I have bad memories from my past, and I don't want to give those to my wife. I don't want to give that to my child. You're a good husband. You're a good father. Thank you so much for sharing. That was very good. I saw Anna smiling when you were responding, and I was smiling. We're a good group, guys. Yeah, I think it does affect you. Like you said, family violence. I also faced it in my family, and it does affect me. I think about it all the time. I think about other kids. I talk to my friends because I live in Canada, and there's so many different kinds of people from so many different families. And when they tell me that they did this, and this at home, this is how their Christmas was, and I think about my parents and they were always fighting, it's different. My memories of festivals are different. and their memories of festivals are happy, mine are stressful, or mine are sad, it does affect you for the rest of your life. That's why we were talking about how if you want to say something, think about it, because you don't know who's listening and you don't know who will hear it 10 years later in their memories, you know? It just, sometimes things people say to you stick with them. So I think it does affect people long term. And we already talked about how if I see something in my family and I think that that's normal. So if somebody treats me wrongly outside, I'm also going to think that's normal. So we open those doors for other people too. If you treat somebody in your family badly, you tell them that it's okay. It's okay for them to be treated badly, and that somebody outside wants to do it, they can also do it. So really something to think about when we are interacting with our family members and how we treat them.
Sometimes when the children are the girl, they often witness violence every day. And when they grow up, they are afraid to get married. They are afraid to make a friend with boyfriends. Yeah, they just want to live alone.
Yeah,
I think sometimes I feel the life so difficult, and especially when me and my wife become father and mother of my kids. Every time and everywhere we always take control our feeling because we don't affect to my kids. So day by day we have to face thing with many other things like money, how they can build for future, and especially how we can teaching our kids. So some I feel become adult really hard. What do you think? Especially when you are become when after getting married, that is the hardest stage in our life, because we facing with many responsibility with my wife, with my husband, with our kids, and many other things. Really hard.
Yeah, being an adult is so hard. I want to be a baby again. Drink my milk and just live my life.
Yeah, and play with a friend all day.
Yeah. Yeah, not think about the problems. I agree with you, Cam. I think as you grow up, there's more problems or you notice them more. Was your question that, did you ask that if we think it's harder to be a man or a woman? Do you think there's more responsibilities on men in our countries, Vietnam and India, because we expect them to provide us financially? Sorry, was that your question? I didn't catch it.
Can repeat your question?
Yeah, can you please repeat your question? Was your question, did you ask us if we think that being a man is more stressful when you have to provide, or did you ask something else?
Yes, I mean, something like that.
I always tell my husband that there's pressure on us to look good, to have my fair face or not get fat or have nice hair. But I think there's also so much pressure on men to provide, to get a job, to pay the bills, to make sure there's a plate on your table every day, to make sure your kids are going to school. That pressure is too much, I think. And I do think that there's more pressure on men Not in Canada, but in India for sure, because they think the man, if you're a man, you go out, you get the money, I stay at home. And I think it's too much, and it's too much for men to handle, because they're just like us, you know? If my husband is my age, but he has more pressure to provide now, he has more pressure to put food on my plate. So it's unfair, but I do think that there's more pressure, especially in countries like India. In Canada, I find many people share their responsibilities. It's 50-50. I go to work, my husband goes to work. We try to do things at home. But in countries like these, men face there's a whole world on their shoulders.
Yeah, I think every member in family can share responsibility for other, and when the men go out and have to stand more stressful than a woman, and he came back home and realized their wife do good job in the at home, and they feel calm down.
In my opinion, sometimes when I come back in my home and I can feel my wife take care everything so good. So one day when my wife have to go out, and she asked me stay at home one day, and I have to work everything. I really shocked when there are many small things in family I never think about before. So day after day, my wife always facing that, and I think my wife stay at home not good than me. She always facing with many stress, and especially with our kids, really noisy. And I think my wife can take care the jobs in my house really good than me. And I think I go out can learn money more than her. And that's a part of work for each other. And I think it's pretty fair for me and my wife. But my mean is I feel sometimes now, especially when I getting married, I facing with many stressful, and I think every time and everything I do, I always to take care the effect with my kids, and sometimes I feel lonely, and that's my me.
That's a really nice point you shared, Cam, that you can make money better. You are more skilled at it. But she's more skilled at taking care of things at home. And there's millions of things at home. It's not to say that people who go outside and do their job work harder, because from the moment that my mom used to get up, she was cleaning, she was cooking, she was packing our lunches, she was sending us to work, then she was washing our clothes. Then she was cleaning the house again. Then she was preparing for our lessons. All those things. It's a nonstop 24-hour job to be a parent, right? You guys know, you guys have kids. I don't have kids. But I've seen my friends have kids, and it's 24 hours. So it is a very hard job. And Kem, you were mentioning that when you got married, it was different. It was a big change for you. It was very stressful, because you had never probably taken care of anybody before. Your parents were probably taking care of you, hey?
No, sometimes I understand why in the past the people don't want to getting married.
But there's lots of good things about it. You want to be alone? You cannot imagine your life now alone.
I never thinking about if how I can feel when I alone.
Yeah.
I never thinking about yes.
You're never alone with kids. When you have kids, never alone.
Why you don't share your problem with your wife, and she can understand understand a part of you, or difficulty of you?
Really hard for I can share about my opinion, and especially related business, because my wife really hates that, and she don't care everything related to business. My wife like flower, planting tea, and especially take care her kids very good. And I think that pretty normal. I saw many other friends also still like me. Really hard for can share with his wife. And sometimes I have to go out and find some friend for can sharing about business. But when I come back, I have to listening everything my wife said. Sometimes I feel boring, but I have to smile and and sometimes when I can I don't want to listening her said. I go out with my kid, but I just stay with them about 50 minutes. That's it.
Why you try to do that? Although your wife cannot have your business, but she can share the problem with you, and after you talk it with your wife, you feel more comfortable.
Yes, I try, but my wife like talking about the film she watching, the tree.
She doesn't care about you.
The flower. So, in fact, I never saw another film.
Oh wow, you don't watch
Rarely.
movies.
Yes.
Okay, so
I
how
don't
about
watch.
we do challenges? I think we are like friends here, and we should talk. I know we're learning English, but it's also we need to talk as friends. This is how we talk every day, right? So challenge for you, Cam, is you're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes on your phone, and you're gonna tell your wife that she has to listen to you only for 5 minutes today about your business. Only 5 minutes. Put a timer on, and then that's it. Then you will not tell her about your business all day, just 5 minutes. Can you do that?
Okay, I try.
Okay. How about us, Anna? We should do a challenge for ourselves too. We should do a small challenge too, Anna. What do you think? Drink 2 liters of water today, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah. We have less than 1 minute left. You guys, thank you so much for sharing everything today. I think it was a very good conversation. I think it was not like we were sitting in a classroom. Question 1, question 2, question 3 is very good. We all shared about our personal lives. We talked about our countries. We talked about our cultures. We talked about our society. It was really good. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, you. Enough. You bring more knowledge to us.
Thank you. You
Okay,
bring more
thank you so
knowledge
much.
to me. Yeah, we will meet tomorrow, I think. Yes?